Но мы же со многими здесь многие годы знакомы. Часто очень слышал. Ну, там надежнее. А теперь?
This is my video update on this Monday morning, August the 26th. Let's talk about some news. And the big story this Monday morning is the big Russian missile strike in Ukraine. All of Ukraine, the Russian military, they targeted military infrastructure, energy infrastructure throughout all of Ukraine, from Kiev to Odessa to the west of Ukraine, Lvov. Russia hit every part of Ukraine this morning. Usually the big Russian missile strikes, they happen very late at night or very, very early in the morning while it's still dark. This missile strike happened in the daylight, in the morning, full daylight, and the Russians, they hit every target that they were going for in Ukraine. And from what I understand, the only city that was protected with air defense was Kiev. Every other area and region in Ukraine was completely exposed and vulnerable to the Russian missile strikes, Kinzhal missiles, Kalibr missiles, missiles launched from Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Remember Kirby and Blinken speaking to reporters in the White House, saying that the Ukraine military has been successful and victorious in destroying Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Russia's Black Sea Fleet has been completely demolished. Remember those narratives, those reports? Remember Kirby telling us that Russia's Black Sea Fleet has been destroyed? Ben Hodges telling us that Russia's Black Sea Fleet has been completely destroyed, and this is a huge Ukraine military victory. Well, the Ukraine military and Ukraine mainstream media, they are reporting, not Alex, not Russian media, Ukraine military, they are reporting that Russia launched cruise missiles from their Black Sea Fleet and successfully hit targets throughout Ukraine. You don't think that Kirby was lying to everybody, do you? You don't think that Blinken was lying to everybody about the destruction of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, do you? No way would Kirby lie to us. No way would Blinken lie to the world. No way. I refuse to believe it. Something else must be going on. Anyway, where did all of Ukraine's patriots go? Where did Ukraine's air defense go? Some of it remained in Kiev to protect Alinsky, right? But the rest of Ukraine completely exposed. In Odessa, there are reports that in Odessa, the Ukraine military, because they don't have air defense, they scrambled fighter jets to try and intercept the Russian missiles. So where did the air defense go? Well, a lot of it has been destroyed by the Russian military. And whatever remained outside of Kiev was sent to Kursk. It was sent to Kursk. And a lot of the air defense, I believe 2 Patriot batteries, have been confirmed to have been destroyed in the Kursk region. But Alinsky sent a lot of the air defense to Kursk for his PR Russia invasion stunt. And he left the rest of Ukraine completely exposed, completely vulnerable to Russian missiles. And the Russian military, they took advantage of Alinsky's military stupidity. So I've read reports that Russia hit 65 targets, successfully hit 65 targets throughout Ukraine. Ukraine's energy infrastructure is completely demolished, blackouts throughout all of Ukraine. There are videos of citizens in Kiev going to the metro to seek safety in the underground in Kiev. Russia controls Ukraine's energy, or Ukraine's energy is at the mercy of Russia. As Ukraine is engaged in this ridiculous, stupid, completely militarily useless Kursk incursion, as Alinsky's focused on this nonsense. Russia can switch off the lights in Ukraine like that, and that's what they showed today. No water in some areas, no electricity in many cities and in many areas. The Ukraine's energy company DTEK said that there are blackouts throughout much of Ukraine. Klitschko, the mayor of Ukraine, said that there are certain parts of Ukraine without power. And this just shows that Russia, if and when they want to, they can completely turn off the lights in Ukraine. So that's the big missile strike this morning. And perhaps this is retaliation for Kursk, though my guess would be not. Maybe this is probably not retaliation for Kursk. Russia doesn't usually operate like that, launching such big strikes in retaliation. This is probably part of the Russian military plan, seeing that Ukraine does not have any air defenses, weakening the electric grid, probably before the cold winter sets in, further weakening Ukraine's electricity energy infrastructure. But maybe this is a type of retaliation for Kursk. But it was a big strike. This was a big one. A very big missile strike throughout Ukraine. Maybe this is an indication of something bigger on its way, a bigger Russian offensive. The Ukraine military, they sent a warning message to Belarus because they're alarmed at the Belarusian military buildup close to Ukraine's border. Now, Belarus is, from what I understand, they're conducting military drills. So this could just be part of the military drills, this buildup along the Belarusian-Ukrainian border. But the Ukraine military, they sent a warning message to Belarus, and they said, pull back your military resources from the border. So could we be seeing some sort of big offensive from Russia? And maybe this missile strike is going to be one of many to soften up Ukraine before we get a big offensive. I don't know. Probably not, but possible, I guess. Ukraine this morning, they sent 2 drones into Russian territory, into the regions of Saratov and Engels, and these 2 drones didn't target military facilities or oil depots or anything like that. These drones hit apartment buildings. There's one video on Telegram and on X which shows a residential apartment high-rise, and the drone just kind of crashes right into the top floor. It reminded me a bit of 9/11 in a way. You can see the drone just moving right towards the high-rise and crashing right into this residential building. Not a military target, a residential building. That happened early this morning as well. So that is what is happening in Ukraine. Big missile strike, energy infrastructure completely crushed, completely depleted. Russia can turn off the lights when they wish, if they wish. No water in various parts of Ukraine. The Russian forces continue to advance in Donbass, in the Pokrovsk direction, towards the heavily fortified area of Toretsk. And Ukraine and Alinsky continues to play Napoleon in Kursk as his soldiers, his military. All of the collective West weapons are trapped in Russia, and they are being destroyed by the Russian military, hunted down and being destroyed by the Russian military. Syrskyi continues to send reports to Alinsky claiming that he captured another village, another 2 villages, and Alinsky is reporting back to the Ukrainian people. Success, we've captured a total of 93 villages in Russia and we're building a buffer zone. Meanwhile, the citizens of Kiev are hiding in the metro. They have to go to the underground to seek refuge as Alinsky plays Napoleon. Most likely, Alinsky is betting on provoking Russia, getting Russia to do something that is not in its playbook, in its military plans, and then Alinsky will use some sort of out of the ordinary Russia retaliation towards Ukraine in order to get NATO involved in the conflict. That's probably what Alinsky is doing. That's why he continues to provoke and goad Russia. That's why he's always talking about crossing the Russian red lines. And don't worry about Putin doing anything if we cross red lines. We've crossed many red lines, and Putin has not done anything as of yet. He's hoping for some sort of NATO intervention. Maybe he's hoping to provoke some sort of palace intrigue in Russia. The hope strategy. It's the hope strategy. That's all that Alinsky has left is the hope strategy, and to desperately try to keep the war going. Because if the war continues, then Alinsky continues. If the war ends, then Alinsky ends. So that is what is going on in Project Ukraine. Do I have anything else to report from Project Ukraine this morning? I think that's pretty much it for Project Ukraine. Let's talk about Telegram now. And this was the big story from yesterday, the arrest of Pavel Durov. And Telegram has actually responded to Durov's arrest. Yesterday in Ukraine, just to go back to Ukraine, there was a news broadcast. And as the reporter was broadcasting the news on air, it completely blacked out. Lights went out. So that was an interesting video from Ukraine. So back to Durov, back to Pavel Durov. And we go to Telegram's response to his arrest. Let me just read it to you, what Telegram said. This is from a post on X. Telegram abides by EU laws, including the Digital Services Act. Its moderation is within industry standards and constantly improving. Telegram's CEO, Pavel Durov, has nothing to hide and travels frequently in Europe. It is absurd to claim that a platform or its owner are responsible for abuse of that platform. Almost 1 billion users globally use Telegram as means of communication and as a source of vital information. We're awaiting a prompt resolution of the situation. Telegram is with you all. That is Telegram's response. Kim.com actually posted, and I quote, "It is absurd to claim that a platform or its owner are responsible for abuse of that platform." And he says, "Welcome to the club." That's exactly what they're going after Kim.com for and his mega upload service. They are claiming that he is responsible for the millions and millions of users and uploads on the platform. And now they're saying that Pavel Durov is responsible for the actions of billions and billions of users and the billions and billions of messages and content that they send and they upload and they share on Telegram. Kim.com is responsible. Pavel Durov is responsible. Zukbot, not responsible. Right? You see how that goes? So that's the response from Telegram to Durov's arrest. There are reports that when the plane was about to land in France for refueling, that Durov, he actually tried to get the plane to not land in France. He got nervous or suspicious as to what might happen if the plane did land in Paris to refuel. And the reports are, I think he was traveling with his girlfriend or with a female friend, let's say, and as the plane was about to land in France to refuel, the reports are, and I think these are just rumors for now, but we'll find out, I guess, as time goes by, what actually happened. But the reports are that he told the pilot to not land in France. And if you look at the flight tracker, it kind of shows that the plane tried to divert away from France, from the airport in Paris, but then decided to finally land in Paris. Most likely, well, one of two options, I would guess, is either the pilot was told to land the plane in Paris now, and the pilot did it, or the plane needed to refuel. It needed fuel, you know. It had no other option than to land in Paris. So those are some interesting reports about the actual flight from Flight Radar 24. If you look at the flight pattern, it shows that the flight from Baku, Azerbaijan, suddenly changed its flight path while flying over the French city of Reims. And the jet turned south around 7:10 p.m. local time, about 20 minutes before the scheduled landing. Interestingly, 5 minutes later, the plane returned to its original course towards Paris Le Bourget Airport. So the French authorities, the French courts, actually, they extended Durov's detention in Paris to 96 hours. I imagine so they can come up with some sort of crimes to charge him with, because the whole terrorism, criminal activity charge that they used to detain him, to issue the warrant 5 minutes before the plane landed in Paris, well, that's been completely obliterated by many legal experts. Robert Barnes on Viva Frei and Barnes on their live stream yesterday evening, U.S. time, they made the point, a very good point, that Durov was living in Dubai in the UAE, and the UAE, they do have extradition agreement with the United States and with much of Europe. Actually, with France itself, they have an extradition agreement. And Durov, being a French citizen holding a French passport, if he really was taking part or was involved or complicit, whatever, in some of these charges that they allege, the trafficking, the criminal activity, terrorism, and stuff like that, then what France would have done is they would have asked to extradite Durov, right? And the UAE, they would have looked at the French extradition, and they would have agreed if they had a real case, and if these really were the charges that were going to be levied against Durov. But they didn't do that. And the UAE, they do have an extradition agreement with France. This is what Viva and Barnes pointed out yesterday. So they made the point. Barnes made the point that these charges is just nonsense. If this was really about criminal activity, then Dubai would have extradited him to Paris, and a case would have proceeded against Durov. But they made all of this up on the fly, right? So they can just grab the guy. So now they're going to hold him for 96 hours so they can, I don't know, fabricate some charges against him. I don't know, so they could scare him into playing ball with the EU and with the three-letter agencies. Probably that's what they're going to do. Scare Durov, scare Telegram, scare his brother, who's now probably running the company. He's probably the guy that's in charge of Telegram right now, as Durov is in prison. So they're going to probably scare Durov and scare the entire Telegram company and team into censoring, right? Give us access to your platform so we can spy on everybody in real time. That's what they want, in real time, like the other big social platforms do. Allow the three-letter agencies full access into your platform so we can monitor everything that's going on and start censoring. Actually, that's wrong. What I'm saying is wrong. What they really want, I'll tell you what they really, really want. This is what the EU wants with their Digital Securities Act, or whatever they call it, the DSA Act. This is what the FBI and the CIA and the three-letter agencies really want from social media. What they really, really want, and this is what they really want from Telegram, is for them to do the censoring, not for the Telegram team to do the censoring, not for them to moderate, or at least to see all the messages in real time, and then to tell Telegram, hey, we want you to pull down these videos or these posts. That's not what they want, really. What they want is they want a team inside of Telegram or inside of other social media, and they're going to do the moderating. That's what they really want. When I was in Moscow, I talked about the Digital Services Act, the EU, and how they were going after Musk with the DSA. And the EU Digital Services czar, what's his name? I forgot the dude's name. Thierry something. Anyway, this guy, he's the guy that sent the letter to Musk last week. And this guy was, when I was in Moscow, he was basically saying, look, for Twitter X needs to comply with the DSA Act. And what would be ideal, and this is what the EU was telling Musk, what would be ideal is for us to have a couple of hundred employees inside of Twitter or working with Twitter, and we'll do the moderating. We'll do the censoring. You guys don't even worry about the censoring. Don't even worry about employing people to censor posts. Just give us access to your platform. Maybe give us an office, access to the kitchen and whatever other services you have at your headquarters, whatever, and we'll do the censoring for you. That's what they really want. That's ideal for the EU. That's ideal for the collective West, the US three-letter agencies. In the Twitter files, I believe there was actually, I think Matt Taibbi reported on this, that Twitter under Dorsey, they actually did have an office at Twitter headquarters. Am I reporting this correctly? Yeah, I think I remember reading a Matt Taibbi report where he said that the FBI, one of the people who was going through the Twitter docs, the Twitter files that Elon made public, and he revealed that the three-letter agencies at one point in time actually had office space inside of Twitter, or something crazy like that, and they were doing much of the censoring. That's what they want, and that's what they're going to try to pressure Telegram and Durov to give them. So that's a Telegram update. But yeah, if they really had something to charge and to go after Durov with, like something concrete, they wouldn't have done this whole grabbing him on a plane as it's going into Paris to refuel. They wouldn't have done any of that. They would have contacted the UAE and said, look, this guy's been involved in X, Y, and Z under our extradition agreement. He has to come to France to face criminal charges, right? Anyway, that's an update on Telegram, and I think we can now enter Clown World territory. Can we enter Clown World territory? Let's see. Yeah, Yeah, let's do some clown worlds, huh? What do you guys think? Let's talk clown world. And the first clown world takes us back to Project Ukraine. And there's a video circulating on the interwebs, which a lot of the pro-Ukrainian crowd is very excited about. They're very, very hyped up about this video, which, this is just ridiculous, which claims to show a Ukraine soldier using a machine gun to take down Russian cruise missiles. Yep, that's what this video claims to show. A machine gun taking down the cruise missiles. The hypersonic? Are these the hypersonic cruise missiles? I don't know. But wow, that's some pretty good shooting there. That's the first clown world. Ah, the second clown world. Podolyak. Yes, Podolyak, Alinsky's BFF. He was giving an interview on Ukrainian TV to Ukrainian media the other day, and Podolyak, he claims that Russia wants to lose the war. The Russian people, they want to lose the war because if Russia does not lose the war, then Putin remains in power. This is what Podolyak told Ukrainian TV yesterday. Podolyak, have you been going into my stash? have you been going into my stash, Podolyak? Because I think you say some very crazy things, Podolyak. But yeah, that's what Podolyak is saying. He's saying that the Russian people, they really, really want to lose the war. They understand that if Russia wins, then Putin stays in power. And according to Podolyak, what the Russian people really want is to lose to Ukraine, to lose to NATO, so that Putin is gone. Yeah, Podolyak. Saying some crazy stuff, man, Podolyak. So that's another clown world. And finally, we go to Lithuania, where the Lithuanian Prime Minister, Ingrid Šimonytė, she was at Ukraine's Independence Day event, or should we say dependence, because Ukraine is very far from independence. So Ukraine's Dependence Day event, she was with Alinsky, and she used a very bad term for Russians, a very bad term to describe Russians. But she was speaking alongside Alinsky in Kiev, and Šimonytė, she declared that her government would, and I quote, would continue to do everything to bring victory closer. Victory of light over darkness, victory of good over evil, victory of free people, which we will celebrate together with electricity, with gas, and without Ruzhnya. As Alinsky looked on and smiled, Šimonytė finished her speech with the slogan, Slava, you know what? Once the rallying cry of Bandera, NAZI, collaborating organization of Ukrainian nationalists. Yeah, she said the Slava, you know what? And she called Russians a very bad word. And she said that Ukraine will soon live as free people. Everyone will live as free people, celebrating together with electricity and gas. That's what she said on the 24th. With electricity is what she said. Interesting words from the Lithuanian Prime Minister. So we are here at the world famous Chalmers restaurant, the best the best seafood in all of Cyprus, maybe in all of the world. And once again, if you come to Chalmers, just say that Alex sent you, and you will get free beer and free wine. Not a joke. Not a joke, everybody. Free beer, free wine. Just say Alex sent me. And that's all you need. That is it. Looks good, huh? All right. That is the clown world, courtesy of the Lithuanian Prime Minister and Podolyak going into Alinsky's secret stash, saying all kinds of crazy things. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like my limited edition Duran t-shirt that I'm wearing today, or maybe a Duran hat. You will find a link to our merch store down below. Take care.